Hello and welcome to today's webinar, Panzura, Benefits of Centralized Storage to Increase Productivity. This webinar is brought to you by Live Lab Learning, which is a subsidiary of Academic Corp, a wholly owned applied software company created to provide world-class training. This is Ed McKenzie, and I'm delighted to be your moderator today. Throughout our presentation, we encourage you to interact with us by typing in questions and comments using the questions pane. We will be answering questions at the end of the presentation. This webinar is being recorded and will be available to you online on our YouTube channel. Please take note of our upcoming events. Please join me in welcoming today's speaker, Ken Marks.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Ken Marks. I'm the Area Sales Director for Panzura. Pleasure to be with you all this afternoon. Thank you for the introduction, Ed. And our goal today is to give you a high-level overview of Panzura and the value and impact and cost reduction that it has for AEC firms like yourselves, as it has done for hundreds of our customers across the country and around the world. So a quick synopsis on Panzura. Panzura is a technology company out of Silicon Valley, and our focus is really being able to, we have focused on the AEC problem. It's our largest market. It represents 70% of our business. And we've focused and we have solved the file open sync with central problem that has been plaguing firms like yourselves and hundreds of your peers across the United States and around the world, bringing great increases in productivity, whether it's within a single office or it's across, even more challenging, across multiple offices, across distance, and solve that problem. We simplify IT by having fewer systems to be able to manage, and we reduce costs along the way as well. So those are the three big value points that we're bringing to AEC and to all our customers, is around productivity by solving the file open problem, simplifying IT, and reducing costs. Our customer base consists of hundreds of customers, large and small, around the world. You'll see different logos here that you're quite familiar with, but you'll see a disproportionate amount of engineering firms and AEC firms. As I mentioned, that is our core focus and where we bring the most compelling value to all of our vertical markets that we serve. So whether it's AEC firms such as Mead & Hunt, VOA, RS&H, large architectural firms like Gensler. We also support engineering firms inside Fortune 500 firms such as Milwaukee Tools and Motorola and Rockwell, all suffering from the same challenges that we're going to be talking about today. And it's around productivity, from being able to collaborate, file open, and sync with central challenges for the very demanding latency-sensitive applications that you all are working with and struggling with each day. And I've spent a lot of time and money and effort trying to solve, and still are stuck with these fundamental issues that plague AEC firms around the world. Panzura truly is a global solution, whether you're a single site, whether you're a regional firm, national or global. Panzura scales completely linearly to solve those problems. We have customers in all those different categories I mentioned and are represented with deployments in 40 countries around the world. Truly a global solution that will start as small as one location with 20 to 30 users. Our customers span all markets and industries, because all markets and industries are struggling with collaboration. They're struggling with the explosion of file data and trying to figure out, how can we solve this problem? How can we collaborate more effectively, and how can we approach all this file data in a much more compelling way, as well as keeping it secure? And Panzura has developed and delivered and has deployed this now with hundreds of customers around the world, delivering those very specific attributes and value points. I want to talk to you about a couple of use cases here. CNS companies on the right side of the screen. CNS is an ENR 500 firm headquartered out of Syracuse, New York, one of our early AEC customers. CNS has 16 offices across the country, and they struggled for years with file open sync with central problem. It was taking them 20 plus 30 minutes just to do a simple file open. Sync with Central, working with Civil 3D and Revit, the whole AutoCAD portfolio of applications. They've spent a lot of time, they threw a lot of money at WAN optimization, at faster storage, at faster servers, never solved the problem. Fundamental problem being latency, and those things do not solve the problem of latency. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. So after spending a lot of money and time and effort, they found Panzura. Panzura came in and it replaced all of the Windows servers. All of the data is centralized in one place. It's centralized in the Amazon cloud. Panzura is available both back-ended by either a public cloud, such as Amazon or Microsoft, or a private cloud as well. Depending on what your particular requirements, we support both. The beauty of Panzura is it requires no change in workflow. So your engineers, your BIM folks, your architects, your designers, they work as they always do. Panzura simply is presented as the G drive or the H drive, completely transparent to the users. You deploy Panzura, they come in Monday morning, they turn on the machines, their only comment to you in BIM or IT is, things are really snappy and fast, what did you do? And all you get to do is smile and get to take credit and not enjoy any more complaints about performance calls. So what did CNS realize? Well, they solved the file open sync with central problem. Eric Quinn, the director of IT, says, I no longer get calls about performance from my engineers and designers anymore. Huge win for him. The C-suite loves it because he saved $400,000 a year. He no longer has to buy new SANs. He doesn't have to spend money on maintaining his WAN optimization environment. He's able to decommission his MPLS network. Extremely compelling cost savings that come along with the huge productivity increase. On average, 10 to 20% increase in productivity for engineers. You multiply that productivity level times the number of engineers, number of hours in a week, it's a considerable impact on your business and your profitability. So, to reiterate, the goals are that we deliver cross-site collaboration, file open, file closed, sync with central, solving that problem. And we do that because we present the active data that your users are working with in each office locally and cached locally on the Panzura appliance. It delivers LAN performance across the WAN and deliver that same experience no matter what office they're in. The Panzura appliance deployed, they're going to get that same level of productivity and performance. Streamlining and simplifying IT and stripping out costs, as I mentioned earlier. So we're going to drill down into this, what is involved with this file open, close, sync with central problem. What is that all about? Several years ago, some of our early customers like CNS, we broke down these applications to really understand how they operate and work and what made them tick and what made them such a problem, a performance problem, to be able to work between offices. We put application sniffers. And what we learned is the issue is around the latency. These applications are very chatty. Civil 3D and Revit and others, they require a lot of communication back with central storage to even do the most basic commands such as a file open. So enhancing bandwidth, assuming you have decent bandwidth, you're not choked from a bandwidth standpoint, does not solve the problem. I liken it, we're going to talk about a couple examples here with Civil 3D. And Civil 3D literally has to make thousands of round trips on the network to do a simple file open. If you have to do thousands of round trips across the network from one office to another, so if you're going from, we're here in Atlanta today, and you've got an office in Boston, you have to make thousands of round trips just to do that network operation to do a file open. So whether the highway is 16 lanes wide or 4 lanes wide, you're not going to get that done any faster. Panzura presents that data locally in the office. It makes those 15,000, that round trip, very, very short. So we shorten the highway instead of widen the highway as you would do with WAN optimization, and that solves the problem very compellingly. So here's an example with Civil 3D. We took a very small file size, almost laughable, a 1.5 megabyte file, which you can send in about 2 seconds on your iPhone. But bandwidth isn't the issue. It's about latency. These are all the subroutines that a simple file open goes through in Civil 3D. The number on the left, the 4500, the 4200, the 5300, and so forth, those are the number of round trips on the network and the amount of time each of those subroutines take to do a simple file open in Civil 3D. A total time of 22 minutes as your engineer or architect is sitting there waiting, losing productivity. So a third of an hour waiting just for the file to open. When that's being presented on Panzura now, same exact file size, same application, same distances involved here, same number of round trips made by the application, but instead of minutes, it's being done in seconds. So from 22 minutes to an 8-second file open in Civil 3D. Now, mind you, this is only with a 1 megabyte file, which illustrates the problem with latency. These issues get more exacerbated as the models get larger in size. But that doesn't cause Panzura to break a sweat. You're caching all that data locally and getting that same level of performance no matter how big those models get. Again, you're getting that same consistent performance experience across all your locations. So what used to maybe be enjoyed at corporates is now enjoyed no matter where those resources are located, and you're able to leverage now your top talent and deploy them as needed on whatever project is bringing the most value to the business without having to reshuffle your infrastructure or having to try to push very large data sets across the network, causing other issues, causing you to spend more money on network bandwidth and so forth. Plus, the added bonus is you've got data protection and backup, and DR is inherent and built into our solution. You do not pay extra for that. So all of your backups and your disaster recovery, no more replication to a colo facility, no more backup software, backup schedules, maintenance to pay for. That's all part of the Panzura solution. So again, in summary, latency is being removed by Panzura because we're presenting that data locally, and that performance is going up dramatically. Revit is another very testy, probably the nastiest application out there. It is the future. It is the unified building model for doing projects going forward, and its use is only increasing. But it is notoriously difficult from sync with central, file open and close, and as the data sets get larger and more users come online, which is the whole premise of it, it becomes even more of a nightmare to deal with. Side effects are you get lots of shadow copies of data, you get redundant silos of data, you don't know what your authoritative copy is. It becomes a real nightmare both from a BIM and from an IT standpoint. So what took CNS 15, 20 minutes to sync with central on this 170 meg file, and we probably all know that Revit files can get significantly larger than that, up into the gigabyte range, which many of our customers do, and performs brilliantly. Now syncing with central goes from minutes down to seconds again. Because you're always writing locally, you're always managing your data centrally with Panzura, and you've got your data protection built in automatically. Again, you're getting that LAN performance no matter what office they're located in by deploying a Panzura solution. Great testimony here from Eric Wing, who's the author of the official Autodesk Revit architecture guide for the last 5 years. Revit is just crazy fast with Panzura. So at a high level, how does this all work? How this works is Panzura presents a global file system across your different locations, whether you're one office or whether you're 20 offices. Everyone has the same view of all of your file data. So no longer do you have individual silos of data where it's just the projects that they're working on and they can't see the projects that they might be working on next week. Everyone has access to that same file view. So if you notice, we've got locations here showing internationally, New York and London and Paris. If you look at the file structure here, the directory view, this is your directory view. This is being presented just like a Microsoft file share. What I see in New York is the same thing I see in Paris, is the same thing I see in London. In the center here is your authoritative copy of your data. This represented by the Amazon or Microsoft Cloud for a couple of public cloud examples. This is where your one authoritative copy of data is, with 11 nines of data protection and availability and durability, far beyond what any IT infrastructure can provide, even at the Fortune 500 level. So the Panzura system runs across the different locations. It presents all the file data there for everyone to have access to and see. It does global namespace, global file locking, and global deduplication. So it's extremely efficient and ensures that only one person can be writing and editing a file at a time, or in the case of Revit, we do element level file locking, and we're in our 3rd generation of that. That's something we take very seriously. So you can have multiple people working on the same Revit model at the same time and ensure full data integrity in your models. That is something that we've been doing for many years and test very, very robustly. So let's get into a working example here. So if I'm in New York and I'm making a change to an existing model in real time, because we communicate with the other appliances and with the cloud in real time, a copy of those changes, that metadata now is updated in each location. So if I'm in London now, I can immediately see, or in Paris, see that change I made or that new document or model that I created instantly across the ecosystem. Those change blocks, only the unique change blocks of data are being moved now up to the authoritative copy in the cloud. So what that means is that a lot of your data, the zeros and ones that are being written, are the same across a lot of data sets, even though you may have multiple versions of that same model over time or between projects. Only the unique ones and zeros are being moved up to the cloud and being stored. So as a result, you're not pushing that 100 meg or that 1 gigabyte model. You're only pushing a small subset. So you're taking great pressure off of your network. It's happening very, very fast, and everyone has access to that data immediately. So now, if I'm in London and I see this new model, new document, I can click on that. I instantly see that in my file structure, and only as that data is being moved down, only the change blocks, the unique blocks are being moved, if necessary, and cached locally on my local Panzura controller in London. So I have LAN performance with the SSD drives and very fast cache. I'm getting extremely fast performance, faster performance than you'll be getting from your traditional Revit or AutoCAD server locally. So even if you're a single site, you get a vastly improved performance experience. And I'm able to immediately start working and collaborating and knowing that at all times that my authoritative copy of that model or project I'm working on, regardless of I'm working on it in just that one office or I've got contributors around the world, that one authoritative copy of the model and data is always in the Amazon cloud or in the Microsoft cloud at all times. So it's completely secure, and it's always available 24/7 for everyone to be highly productive. So some examples of some of the collaboration and cost savings for some of your peer firms around the country. So T. Baker Smith, they realized huge productivity gains. So that data is available to all their sites all the time. They're able to collaborate with the right staff people no matter the location. They don't need to move special data around or make any special accommodations. They can turn people onto projects instantly and have instant access to that data and begin being productive right away. IT and the C-suite love it because you get great efficiency and cost savings from an IT simplification standpoint. They got rid of their backup licenses. They're able to avoid purchasing new SANs, new storage, and new servers. And they're able to actually decommission their maintenance contract for Riverbed because it wasn't about the bandwidth anymore. It was about the latency. And making the highway wider like Riverbed was not solving the problem or adding value. So they're able to defer and save $200,000 a year in cost savings from a single investment of $150,000 in their cloud storage bill, $140 a month. $30 per terabyte per month is the going rate now, which equates to 3 cents per gig per month from Amazon or from Microsoft. You get a full utility model, so no longer do you have to worry about buying storage again. You simply consume what you need, up and down, just like you do a light bill at home. And the cost that's quickly going to zero because storage has become completely commodified. So why on earth would you ever buy storage again? It makes absolutely no sense in this new cloud-based economy that we're in. So here's a great visual here from Graph USA, another one of our many AEC customers. The director of IT loves to show this off because this is one of his equipment racks in his IT room, and now is nearly empty except for a lone Panzura appliance at the bottom. And what got stripped out was the backup tape, and no more Iron Mountain off-premise tape storage. Backup server, Windows servers, SAN storage, all those things have gone away, and you realize all the cost savings as well as storage rack savings now. So now only is there a Panzura appliance now remaining in his equipment rack. So in addition to a significant increase in efficiency and productivity by removing the latency challenge that is driving the file open and sync the central problem across your key applications, able to reduce his storage bill tremendously, doesn't have to worry about buying storage anymore, and a very predictable cost going forward. And this is true not just for all of your engineering applications, but for all of your applications, including all your Microsoft applications and the applications that are being run in sales and marketing and finance. Graph USA counted up 395 different applications that were leveraging Panzura because, again, it presents itself as a Microsoft file share. It's application agnostic. Panzura appliances are available as either physical appliances, which are optimized for performance, as I mentioned, with solid-state drives and very fast cache. They're also available as a virtual appliance, as a software appliance to run on your hardware. They're available in a whole range of models based on amount of users and the amount of data that you're managing. So in summary, what we're providing is a solution to the ages-long problem of file open in sync with Central that causes huge headaches from a performance and productivity standpoint for AEC firms. Solve that problem by presenting that data locally and streamlining IT by never having to be in the storage IT business again, in the WAN optimization business or the server business or backup business any longer. It's a lights-out storage management. IT loves this because no longer do they have to worry about forecasting all those things and managing all those separate siloed solutions across multiple locations. They have now one consistent, simple, seamless solution across all sites for all users of file data, and they're driving up the productivity of your core business, which is your engineering applications. So again, performance and efficiency, simplification, and cost reduction. There's a win in there for everybody in the company. So with that summary overview, I'm happy to open up and address any questions that our attendees have today, and I want to thank you all again for your time and participation today. I want to pose a question to the participants out there today. Is anyone suffering from a specific type of file open or sync with Central challenge today? Whether you're a single site or you're collaborating multiple sites or with partners. And Ed, I don't know if you need to turn off mute for the participants and open it up for questions. Let's go ahead and do that if we can.
Yeah, it looks like we have one. Can we get a copy of the presentation to share with our staff? Yes,
absolutely.
On our YouTube.
Anyone having, yeah, I'll repeat the question. I don't know if you all heard me before. Is anyone struggling with a file open or sync with Central type of collaboration problem today with your engineering or other types of applications today?
Ken, there was another question. Can you give us a few links on how to contact you or read more about your tool?
Sure, absolutely. And we, along with the presentation, let me go back to the first slide here. I'll put up my my email address here, and I'll bring that back up to full screen so everyone can see. www.panzura.com is our website. You can also contact our exclusive AEC partner here in the Southeast, Applied Software as well. But feel free to reach out directly to me with any questions that you have. Again, the area sales director here in the Southeast. That's kmarks@panzura.com. What other questions? Anyone dealing with? Are there any IT folks on the call today? Anyone facing new storage or server or backup purchases upcoming in the next 6 months? Those are often great compelling event times to take a look at Panzura to avoid having to make more of those traditional IT purchases, the opportunity to transform IT, as well as have the gigantic impact on productivity.
Doesn't look like any more questions. All right, well, we appreciate it. If you haven't already, search our Live Lab Learning on Facebook and like our page to receive the latest information and special offers. When you visit our website, livelablearning.com, there's a complete schedule of upcoming training and future informational webinars, tidbits, and software updates. Thanks for joining us today. We hope you found this webinar informative and help to your business.